Visually presenting the objectives and key results for your business in an interactive way has never been easier. So today I'm going to show you how to build this web page using Walling while highlighting some new and some old features that'll really help make your OKR web page pop. So before we get started, I do want to just point out that this template is available for usage under the business and HR section right here when you're making a new wall. So if you want to start there, you can start there and modify from there. Otherwise, I will show you how to do it from scratch, which we will be doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit on the blank wall. I'm going to go ahead and title this OKRs 2024. Before we get started on the content, there is one thing I do want to change in the wall customizations. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit the paint roller to the right of the title. And then under miscellaneous, I just want to turn off the wall icon. Everything else can stay as is. All right, first section. I'm going to go ahead and hide this section title. So to do that, I'm just going to hit the three dots to the right of the title and turn off the section heading. So it'll just be a very, very clean intro. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click Select Template to find our first starting point. For this one, I'm going to start with this image and brick section template with the image on the left and the brick on the right. So for the image, I'm going to use the Unsplash search feature for like a minimal white kind of background. I'm going to go with this one. All right, now we can add our content. I'm going to do welcome team. Then I'm going to add some body copy below that. I'm going to increase the size of the welcome team to display. And I have the pleasure of presenting the newest Walling feature, which is changing the font color, which I'm personally very excited about. To do that, all you have to do is just highlight, and then there is a color picker option right here. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to a green. And I do want to actually add one more headline between this headline and the body copy. So I'm going to hit that heading button at the bottom there and then drag this up in between the heading and the body copy. And I will add our additional headline. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, make this heading 1 instead of heading 2. Perfect. And then lastly, I'm going to right click on the brick and remove the background color, which is the dashed swatch. First section is done. Our next section is our objectives overview. Now I do want the section heading to also be turned off for this one. So I'll just go into the three dots, turn off the section heading. But one thing we want to be mindful of is that we do still have the title in there so that if someone is using the jump to feature, like right here, they can still see what each of the sections are. So that does remind me that I forgot to add that to our first section. So there's an easy way to retroactively do that. You just go into the three dots and there's a section title at the top there. So I'll put introduction and there we go. Okay, to start off, I'm going to go ahead and hit the customize section button, which is this little slider looking button. And I'm going to set the background color to black. And then I'll use select template to find just a simple title and text brick. I'm going to go ahead and select all the body copy and replace that with our shorter sentence there and change the alignment to left aligned. And our title is going to be objectives, which we will also right align. The other newest feature within Walling is that there's actually another larger font size. So if we go into the font size dropdown, there is a large display font. And then I'm also going to change this to that lime green that we used earlier. And I do actually want to add a additional piece of text right above the headline that says Hour 2024. And then I'm going to select all of that and change that to a gray color instead. Sort of make it a bit more subtle. Next up, we're going to do 3 bricks, one for each of the sort of objective sections. So I'm going to go ahead and double click and add a brick. I'm going to right click, remove the background. I'm going to do increase user base, followed by the little description of it. Next up, I'm going to add a button to this brick. So I'm going to hit the insert button at the bottom and then hit button. I'm going to change the button text to read more and then change the color to that green we were using. I'm just going to put an example URL in here for the moment and come back to that later, because these buttons are going to serve as sort of an additional piece of navigation for our web page. And so we need the links to our additional sections that we don't have yet. So I'm going to hit save on that with the example URL. I'm going to add an additional space between the button and the text. And then I kind of want the buttons to be a bit longer than this. So we can do that by going into the wall customizations. So I'll go to the wall tab, and under brick buttons, I will do the button width to be wide. Yeah, that looks better. Then for our subsequent bricks, we can just right click on the brick, hit duplicate, and then drag that on over. So this one is expand revenue stream. One more duplication. And this one is improve product quality. Okay, that's everything that we can do for that section for now. Not quite finished yet, but we'll get back to it. So now we are just going to make a wall section for each of these three. So the first one being increase user base. I am firstly going to select the title and increase it to the medium size. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a description, which you can do by hitting the three dots and hitting add description. Now, unlike our last two sections, this section is actually going to be a different view altogether. So instead of visual view on the right side here of the section, it's a drop down, handful of different views to pick from. This one is going to be a table view. So for these sections, we only really need the first three columns. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the due date and status using the section customizations on the right here. And then I'm going to change the names of these columns to key results, current value, and progress. And since I want the progress metric to show up as a percentage, we can actually go into the three dots for the column and change the number format to percentage. There's a handful of different number formats you can pick from, but for this we want to do percentage. So I'm going to hit new brick and start adding our content. As you can see, our text of our first one is getting cut off here. So the easy way to rectify this is just going back into the section customizations and hitting wrap cells so that it shows all the text. And I'm also going to go ahead and increase the column width of the key result just to sort of balance this out a little bit. I'm going to decrease the size of the current value a little bit as well. And then we can add the rest of our metrics. Next one is going to be about boosting user engagement. And the last one is about decreasing churn rate. So another really awesome benefit of presenting your objectives and key results this way is that, you have your progress listed here. And as time goes on, you can come back and update that progress. And, it updates the site live automatically so that if people come and revisit this web page, they'll see what the current status of the objective is. Okay, next section is going to be for the expand revenue stream. And since we have all the formatting that we like for the sections already going on, I'm just going to go ahead and go into the three dots for the section and hit duplicate section. And then we can adjust it from here, saving us a bit of time as well. I can update the description. And then for this one, I do actually want to add a background color. So to do that, just go into the slider button of the customize section and make it a light green color. I'm going to go ahead and remove both of these bricks. Start off with just this one. So this one's about recurring revenue. This one's about diversifying revenue, which hasn't been rolled out yet. So this current value will be NA. And then lastly, expanding to a new market segment. I'm going to go up to the top here, duplicate this one more time, drag this down below this one, and then it is improve product quality. And I can switch out the description. Looks like some of our section settings didn't get carried over, so I'm going to go ahead and turn back on wrap cells and then turn off the due date and status columns. I'm going to delete these two extras, add this one about reducing bugs, add our current value, and the progress. Next one's about improving application speed. And lastly, improving the application's rating on the App Store. Okay, now that we've got our sections finished, we can go back and fix up our navigation buttons. So to get the section URL, all you have to do is go into the three dots to the right of the title and hit copy link to section. And then that's copied to your clipboards. Then we can go into the three dots corresponding to our button, hit edit button, and change our URL to the section URL. Then I'll just repeat that process for the remaining two sections. Okay, we have finished linking all of our buttons. Let's take a look at it real quick. So if we go up to the top here, the edit and publish rocker, I'm gonna go ahead and hit publish. And then as you can see right now, it's private. So we have to hit publish to the web for it to be a public link finally. Then I'm gonna go ahead and click on the link and take a look at it real quick. First thing I notice is that I do actually want the sidebar to be defaulted turned off. So I'm gonna go back to our wall here, hit edit, and go into the wall customizations. Under published wall, we're gonna turn off the sidebar navigation. And then now if we go back, all we have is just our content. There's the jump to up here for navigation purposes, but as you can see, we do have some buttons helping us out with that. So what I wanted to do was just test out our buttons real quick. As you can see, all of our buttons are sending us to the right places, which is the intended outcome. One thing I do actually want to add real quick is just a link to go back to sort of the starting point. So we can do that by adding it to our description here. So let's do that real quick. So at the end of the description, I'm going to go ahead and put go to objectives. And to make it even more clear, I do actually want to add a little arrow pointing upward. So I'm going to go ahead and search Google for arrow pointing up character. Then we can copy that, and then I can just paste that right here. Okay, now that we've got that, we can go into our objectives section, go to the three dots and hit copy link to section. And then we can go back to our first description, highlight that, and then hit the link button and paste that link in there. And now we have a link that'll take us back to the objectives section. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy that and paste that for each of our sections. So now on our main page, we can see that if we hit go to objectives, it takes us back to objectives. We can go back to improve product quality, and go back to objectives, and go to expand revenue streams. So it just creates a really nice, easy way to navigate the page. Super fast, super simple. So that is it. We are now done. Now this page can be shared with all your stakeholders. OKRs are great because it really definitively outlines what your objectives are, how you're going to measure them, where you're at with those objectives. You know, these are very important things to express to people. And in this manner, a super easy way to digest everything and see where everything is at very quickly. And like I said, you can go back and update it. So, you know, if you are actually now at 75% progress, we can go back and see that it just automatically updates to 75. Great way to utilize Walling's live web page building features. And the web page is automatically responsive. So no matter where someone's looking at it from, whether that be their phone, their tablet, you know, anything, it's easily viewable. So that's it for this one. If you'd like to give this a go, just as a reminder, underneath the business and HR section, the OKRs template, or you can find the link in the description for this template as well to duplicate to your account. And you can do all of this for free right now. Until next time, have a good one.